Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, and I am here to give you your weekly forecast for the week of Sunday, September 18th through Saturday, September 24th. But first, before I get started, let me give you a quick update. I'm currently working on doing the charts for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. I am doing some research on predictive astrology. I think that's really where I would like to go, to make astrology more personalized to each person. And so I'm starting out by doing some of my charts and doing some on Trump and Hillary Clinton to see what I can predict there for their lives, what might happen, who might win the presidency. So be on the lookout for that. I want to say in the next few weeks. I should probably finish with it this week, and then by the time I get around to filming it and ideally doing a live video with that, probably won't be until the first or second week of October. So look out for that. Also next week I will be away from home, so I'm not quite sure if I'll be that consistent with the dailies or with the weekly video. I'm going to try to do what I can, but I won't have my normal routine going, and I'll be busy with some other things. So just keep that in mind. But for this week, let's go ahead and get started. Now, this week is all about wanting to get things in your life going and to get, this new journey on the road and to really make it happen. We had these 2 eclipses that happened throughout this past month, and they're all done. So everything that we need to really go on this new journey has come to us and has finally happened and is here. There won't be as many surprises later on. There won't be as many adjustments. They've all happened. And so now it's time to really take what we've done and to move forward. And I feel like at the beginning of the week, you're going to be ready to just go with what you have and to understand what's happening. Maybe not even to understand what's happening, but to just move forward. And you may not be too concerned with the details about the things and the specifics, as long as you're just making progress and moving forward. That may be a little problematic. You may want to make sure that you get some of the details, some of the specifics, that you balance where you're going with a good plan on how to get there. But that's kind of what you're going to be feeling. Friends will also help you in the beginning of the week. They want to be there for you to help you get started on this journey, to help you make sense of it, and that kind of thing. But maybe towards the end of the week are going to be a little challenging. Maybe they'll be distracting. Now that they've helped you and you're on this journey, you want to go forward, and they kind of want to distract you a little bit. Maybe that's happening, or maybe it's questions over the strategy and how you're going to get to your goal with all the new things that have come into place that they don't agree with. So there may be some of that there. While this is happening, you are doing everything you can to get yourself in line with the future, and when I say yourself, I mean inside, to really understand your value and your worth and your skills and talents and how they can bring you into the future and to what you need. So you're thinking about that. You're also doing what you can to communicate about your new plans, to communicate about your goals, to talk about them and bring them out in the open, especially when you may have been so confused about where things have been the past few months. Now you really get to bring them forward and do that. Try not to get people upset, because there could be some possibilities there for that, but at the same time, try to move forward with all this new stuff, because that really is what it's all about. You're now starting to get on the new journey. At the end of the week, it's finally time to let go of your old life and move towards the new one. So if there's anything that's given you a hard time, or anyone in particular during the middle of the week, you're kind of ready to nurture them, bring them all on board, find a way to make everyone feel comfortable and create kind of more of a home for yourself that's more stable, and move forward. And at the very end of the week, Pluto comes out of retrograde, and it's more about finally identifying with this new life, knowing what you want and where to go, and trying to figure out how to finally get on track with this new journey, and not so much try to figure out what the journey is, who you are, where you're going. So know that. And then once we get further into the end of the month, we're going to have things that are going to move into new beginnings for sure. Where it's not going to be so much about dealing with the stuff that just happened and with old stuff. It's going to be a bunch of new things coming to you and moving forward. So think about that. Now, to go through the day by day, let's start with Sunday to kind of give you more detail and more in depth of what's happening. I might try to go a little fast. I don't want these videos to go too long because I don't know how you feel about them. But we'll go ahead and get started. With Sunday, which is just happened, since I probably won't post this till Monday morning, we had the moon in Aries. And when the moon is in Aries, you feel confident and you feel sure of yourself and you want to move forward and make things happen because you feel good, because you feel strong. And because of that, it could be a good time to get things done, to make things happen. But it could also be a time where you kind of run over people a little bit with your feelings because you're all about moving forward and because you want to get things done. This moon in Aries is going to be in conjunct a retrograde Mercury and Virgo. So it may be a little bit hard for you to communicate at this time. You may be focusing on yourself and what you want and what you're creating, and you don't want to think about the details, which is what Mercury and Virgo is all about. It's all about processing everything that's come to you. It's like you don't want to process it. Like you've been trying to do that for how long now, since all this happened in the summer, now you just want to move forward. So if you've been thinking and really processing and been doing things right, you may be fine just going forward. But I do recommend with this energy that you think about some of the things that have just happened and where you want to go, especially with Mercury retrograde, to put them into place. You've also got this moon squaring Pluto and Capricorn. So even though you want to move forward, maybe you're not moving forward or feeling feelings that are in line with your long-term goals and plans. So this urge to really push and to really go is not going to help you get where you want to be 5, 10, years, weeks, months down the road. So keep that in mind. It's the moon. The moon moves very fast, so I can't see this as being like a permanent problem, but it could be something that very much so dominates your thoughts and your habits the first few days of the week. Venus in Libra, especially this week, is with relationships, is making some interesting aspects on, and Venus in Libra is all about feeling good with your relationships and really like loving people, but in a way that is very diplomatic and brings everyone on board and very strategic. It wants compromise, everyone to get along. So that's really what you need to be doing in these next week or two before Venus moves out of Libra. And it's there, and it's sextiling Mars and Sagittarius, which is all about your relationships helping you to make sense of this new journey, to move yourself forward, to get things going. So they really, really want to happen to create that, and that'll last until Tuesday. You've also got your relationships, even though they are helping you to move forward, being a little erratic in some ways or a little unusual, and this could be, I guess it could be a good thing. It's an opposition. So I find that maybe you're looking for other people to bring excitement into your life that you can't give yourself, or other people are being erratic in a way that's distracting. I feel like there may be something going on with your relationships that may potentially be a little unsettling or break you out of your routine from doing the things that you normally would do. This is also going to be in conjunct Chiron and Pisces, and Chiron is all about healing. It's all about wanting to feel good and to feel whole, and it may be hard at this time to feel that way because you want to make sure that everyone else is okay. You want to make sure that, they can help you accomplish your goals, that you can help them accomplish their goals. And so you really do want to be diplomatic, and maybe you feel like you can't express your emotions in the way that you want to completely because you're trying to help everyone else. So the challenge here is to really learn how to channel your emotions into a way that you can communicate and to not get too lost in feelings of pain or loss or hurt, and to understand that it's not a permanent thing, that things can get better, and that your relationships won't always be like this. You've also got Mars and Sagittarius trine Uranus and Aries, so that's really all about your journey, getting on the road and moving forward, but maybe not in the ways you would have expected, but in a good way. It's like unexpected things are coming to you that kind of help you and help things click into place and bringing new ideas and beliefs to you that are really going to be beneficial down the road and help you think of things in new ways that you maybe wouldn't have even thought possible months or weeks or days ago. So that's there. At the same time, just keep in mind that you may be feeling like you want to escape. There may be a lot of pressure coming. This has been a thing that's been happening for a while now, this kind of feeling. And it's about to end on Thursday. So keep in mind, if you do feel a little bit tired, a little disappointed, a little bit afraid of the future, and bad things happening, maybe some bad dreams that you're having wanting to escape, it should end on Thursday, and it should ease up a little bit more. So any tensions you're feeling, especially with part of the new things that have come to you, are gonna go away more towards the very, very, very end of the week and into next week. On Monday, we've got retrograde Mercury in Virgo, and it's trining Pluto in Capricorn. And what that's doing is it's all about communicating about the details, but in a way that's going to help you build really stable foundations in the future, and talking and time to have conversations about who you are and the person you want to become, even if you currently aren't that person, and kind of aligning your mind with that. And so you're having to go back and reevaluate the way you thought your life would be and how your life actually is and where you want to go from there to figure it out. So while there may have been some difficulties on Sunday trying to figure out, maybe wanting to move forward and not being able to move forward in a way that is really going to get you where you want to go long term, by the time Monday and Tuesday gets here, you should realize, you know what, I really should think about this, and I was just excited about the journey, and it's okay to be excited about the journey, but also try to think and process and figure out how all the building blocks are going to fit into place in the future. On Tuesday, we've got the moon moved into Taurus. Taurus is a much more stable place. It's much more about showing your self-love, valuing yourself for who you are, having self-worth, and that's going to be in a really good aspect to your communication, where maybe you're going to be able to communicate about your worth, about what you love, about what makes you unique, about where you want to go, and about how your gifts and talents can fit into this picture of things that are happening to you. It's also going to be making a good aspect to Pluto and Capricorn, so it's going to be helping you fit things in place. You're going to be seeing how your gifts and talents are going to help you later on. Whatever new has come to you, you're starting to realize, oh, maybe I was a little worried about this new thing that just happened, but now that it's here, I'm realizing that I'm actually uniquely suited for this job in a way that I didn't foresee coming. So that's there. At the same time, this is when your relationships end up to be a little bit difficult to your journey. And I don't know if it's, I don't think it's that they don't want you to go on this journey. It's that they may be distracting you in the process. Maybe you really want to get started and really want to put something in action, and you've got a friend calling you up saying, hey, let's go out to dinner, or, hey, I got tickets to this thing, let's go here, let's see this concert. And you're like, oh, but I need to stay at home, and I need to, work on this project that just came to me, or I just started this new job and I have to work late. And so there may be some tensions there. There could also be some conversations with your loved ones, friends, and family about how you go about this new journey. So they may be okay with this new journey, but they're like, well, don't do it that way. Oh, you're going to start this new job. Well, don't take the bus to start this new job. Drive. And you're like, no, I really want to take the bus. It's cheaper that way. It's easier. And they're like, oh, but if you don't drive. And so there may be just like little conversations and disagreements over how you move forward on your future. That can definitely happen here with this kind of energy. But remember, Venus is still in Libra, so the goal is really to be diplomatic and to compromise, okay? And especially with Mercury and Virgo, it's all about communicating very, very clearly and about the specifics on what you feel. So don't, bulldoze people over. Just explain, oh, this is why I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and it's because X, Y, Z, and have a real conversation. Oh, why did you want to do that? And lay out kind of, go through it all together. And I feel like that will really help you work things out. On Wednesday, the Sun in Virgo, which has been there for a while, it should move out of there soon. And that's all about focusing on the details. And that's with Saturn. So I feel like there's going to be lots and lots of conversations on Wednesday and Thursday about the details of your life and of your new journey. What does your, day-to-day look like? What does, what do you do in your process that's going to get you to where you want to go, And it's going to be, it may be like, oh, well, if you want to get to your future, I don't know. I just see it being about the nuts and bolts of like your life. What time you're going to wake up, and what time you're going to go to bed, and when lunch is going to be, and where it's going to happen. And so it's going to be a lot about that, but it's going to be with the goal of like getting you on this new journey and helping you get started on where you're going. Venus and your relationships are still going to be kind of difficult. They're in what we call a semi-square with the North Node in Virgo. So your relationships may be a little inflexible at this time. They may be forcing you to be one way or putting you up roadblocks that's affecting your ability to accomplish what you love or what you feel called to do or the way that you feel is right. And so know that other people may have really strong points of view maybe at this time about your future, and about where you're going and what's happening with you. This could also be passion projects, creative projects, maybe forcing you to be a certain way, but really keep in mind that you're going to have to balance the demands of other people and your needs, and that it's ultimately up to you and not to everyone else to make this decision moving forward, but that you don't want to upset everyone else in the process, even though there may be some big disagreements over where your life is going and what your routine is going to look like. Not so much about where your life is going, but where your routine is going and the nuts and bolts on how you're going to get to the big picture. On Thursday, at the end of the week, Mercury ends its retrograde. This is great news because when Mercury is retrograde, communication is like 10 times harder. People don't understand maybe what you're talking about, more likely to get angry. Maybe they're going back on something they said earlier and changing their mind. So it can be very difficult. On Thursday, it's coming out of retrograde, so you won't have those problems anymore, ideally. And technology problems will go away if you've been having some problems with your computer, which I have been having lately. So I'm hoping that will end. But keep in mind that after a planet comes out of retrograde, it stays in what we call a shadow period. And that's where it looks like it's standing still and not moving. And when a planet is in shadow period, it has extra strength. Okay, it's like superpowers because it's staying still, so it's really, really focused on one spot and one energy. So keep in mind that your words are going to be super, super powerful, and your thoughts and your words to create your life is going to be really strong. So watch what you say, and what you do say, make sure it's what you want so that it can really move you in the right direction. The moon at this time is going to be in Gemini. The moon moves very fast, so it's in a lot of different places all the time. But this week especially, it's making a lot of aspects to things. And so you want to explore ideas, and you want to try new things, and maybe you're on this new journey and you're like, well, let me see, maybe let me try this and see if that works, and let me try this and see if that works. But the key here is to make sure that these ideas aren't just ideas, okay, that you actually do them and you actually try them and you actually figure out what happens. I think that's the big problem that happens towards the end of the week, is maybe you have a lot of people in your ear telling you, oh, we'll do this, or oh, we'll do that, or oh, I really think you could do this, and you have your own idea that you don't end up doing anything. And so I think towards the end of the week, you need to make sure that you try to do something and make it happen. These new ideas may not totally fit with your life's plan and with where you're going, especially if they just remain ideas. So the key is to really just experiment and to try things and to not get too stuck on one thing if it's not what you really want, but to keep moving and putting all the pieces together. Mercury and Virgo is also going to be in a good aspect with Pluto and Capricorn, so there's going to be a lot of focus towards the end of the week on moving forward, on making things happen, on building really strong foundations. It's a lot of it is going to be communicating about things going on, but it can also be processing in your ideas, trying to get the right ideas. All these ideas that are coming to you, trying to figure out which one is the right one, which way is the right way, to move forward with your life after maybe some disagreements with family and friends and your own ideas about doing things, and maybe you don't even know which way is right, so you got to try to figure it out. But I feel like towards the end of Thursday and Friday, you're finally starting to get these things into place. There may be roadblocks coming into Friday in communications with friends and loved ones. There could be contentions that arise between what you wanted to create and what is actually happening. Perhaps there's uncertainty from others around the ways that you're pursuing them, but the goal is to find a way to talk about your plans with others that is less contentious and that is more freeing, and to just be very detailed. I know I said this earlier, but I keep seeing this again in the astrology. It's like people may give you a hard time. Especially when it comes to processing. This isn't going to last. Mercury is going to move out of Virgo very soon. Venus is also going to move out of Libra. But just right now, it's like, I don't know why people are being so difficult. I feel like people right now want to tell you a lot of how to live your life, and want to communicate with you about that. And I think this is, a time to just understand that people want to be involved in your life and they want to have your say, and that's totally fine, and you need to please them and make them happy, but in the end, it's ultimately up to you and what you want to do. On Friday, you also have Mars in Sagittarius. You want to move your story. You want to get it going forward, and it's in a good aspect with Neptune and Pisces until Sunday. And so this is really a time, after all this stuff has happened during the week, to check in with your feelings and your dreams. Are you doing what you hoped it would be? Are you doing what you really, really want? Is it time, or is there a way that you can align your life better with your hopes and your dreams and where you're going, and maybe break down some of these illusions that you had about your life to really create a new story, a new chapter that's based on reality and what's actually happening, and not so much about things that you would hope to, but what's actually happening, and to align your life with some bigger goals and with some bigger dreams, and to even dream new dreams. It may be that you thought your life was going to be one way and you had a whole bunch of dreams that aligned with that old life. And now your life has changed and you realize that those old dreams really don't resonate with you anymore, and you need to come up with new dreams that are more real for your life and your life situation, and figure out how to work towards those. So I see maybe a little bit of a reevaluation of your life, of hopes and dreams maybe there, and things that you want to create and where you want to go towards Friday. On Saturday, it's really beautiful because then the moon comes into Cancer, and the moon loves being in Cancer, and so that's where you want to nurture everyone. You want to be, it's a motherly, Cancer is like the sign of a mother and of nurturing, and so it's really the time when you just want to make sure everyone is okay and everyone has all their needs met, and everyone is on the same page. So even after things have been hard with other people during the week, you finally get to a point after you've talked to them and you've checked in with yourself that you're like, okay, now let's all just get along. Let's all just be happy and make sure our needs are all met. And you're doing that, and it's in a pretty aspect with your North Node. So you want to you're doing things that maybe you feel called to do, and you're working with other people, and you're really nurturing and bringing, your goals kind of forth and working for them. And this energy is going to help you put it into practice, not only with your feelings, but kind of in the real world. So it's a pretty energy after a rough week. Venus is also going to enter Scorpio. Venus loved being in Libra. It's home. It's at home in Libra. It likes that. It's all about helping other people. When it moves into Scorpio, it's not as comfortable there. So it doesn't become as much about relationships or about feeling at peace with everyone. It becomes more about beginnings and starting new things and attracting new beginnings to you, I would say. It also may come with deep feelings. You have deep feelings about creative projects that you've just had kind of coming up to the surface. So you may be feeling deep things at the end of the week too. You may be like all in the feels, all in your emotions at that time. So keep that in mind. There also may be things deep below the surface, maybe secrets, deep emotions you need to bring up and you need to talk about with other people. So keep that in mind. This Venus in Scorpio also isn't the best aspected right when it comes in. So it may be a little challenging, but the goal here is to really think about these new beginnings that you're doing, to release the old things that are happening. Don't try to hold on to the old things. If you're trying to hold on to the old things in this energy, it's going to be hard for you, and you really need to move forward. This may also require you to share resources with other people in a different way. Maybe the way you've been doing things, your routines, when I say resources, that could be time, the way you're sharing time with someone, the way you're sharing money with someone. needs to change. So it's really time to focus on how can you rearrange your resources, some of your partnerships, so that they can bring these new beginnings into focus, and how can you bring these new beginnings and these big ideas out of the shadows, and fully process them and make them into something that can get you, to where you want to go. Mercury is going to be in a hard aspect to Venus and Scorpio when it comes in, so there could be roadblocks in communications with friends and loved ones, especially about the ways that you want to share resources. Maybe people are like, whoa, 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 like, I didn't realize that this new beginning meant that now I was going to have to wake up 2 hours earlier than I was supposed to, just to help you get to your new job, or something like that. So there may be some things where you have to communicate about some of these plans and these new beginnings that people don't like, or maybe are still getting used to. I think that's more what it is, especially because Mercury moves fast. It's just going to be people are not used to some of these changes in your resources, or maybe don't understand. So the goal here is really just be more clear about what you want. And because Mercury is station, coming out of retrograde, I feel like you're going to have a lot of power to really communicate what it is that you need in this energy. Now, next week, it's all really about the idea of expanding yourself, the idea of yourself. This week is about really working on the process. Now you know where you're going, how do you do it? And getting everyone else on board and trying new things to kind of figure out your new routine. Next week, it's going to be all about bringing things to yourself that resonate. Really focusing, I want to say, on self-love, on expanding the idea of yourself. It's also going to be about creating your long-term future with other people and things that you love to do. Venus is going to make a lot of aspects next week that are really pretty, which I really like, which is great news for me because I'll be traveling with family next week. But they're going to be nice, where your relationships really want to help you move forward, really want to get things in order, really want to show you your worth in a way. It could be also new creative projects that are happening with you, could even be new relationships at this time, are really going to bring out the best in you. So I think that that's a good thing, and it could also be you showing your self-love and seeing the good things in yourself and not necessarily from other people. But around that time next week, you should know who you really are or who you want to become and be on your new journey. And the next part comes of all putting it into action. And I see friends, family, and loved ones no longer being the issue they may have been next week. So look out for that. At the very, very end of the month, we've also got Pluto coming out of retrograde. So you're going to be on this new journey. Your identity is going to be moving forward, and Mars enters Capricorn. And I personally like that because it's going to be a lot of action and foundations, a lot of action and stability. How do we make these new things real? How do we make them go forward? So that's pretty much all that I have for your week this week. I hope that it's a good week. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below in YouTube and your comments down there. Like it on Facebook and just give me some feedback so that I know what's going on and if I'm doing a good job. Okay, that's all I have, and I hope you have a great week. I will talk to you later.